Hi, I'm Sarah. I became a mom 9 months ago, and in that time I have tried lots of different pumping options. I am an ER nurse, I have to pump at work, and then I mostly breastfeed when I'm home. But I'd like to share with you the different pumps I've tried and what I thought of all of them. So the first one I got with my insurance is the Spectra S2. I really like this pump, but it does have its downfalls, and I'm going to tell you why. This is a Medela that I take this one to work. I believe it's a Medela pump in style. It's an older Medela style. I was given this by my sister-in-law, and I'm going to tell you what I think about that compared to my Spectra. I then bought these Bella Baby hands-free pumps from Amazon, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of these and if I still use them. I have some Freemie cups that I tried. These are hands-free cups that can go with your Spectra and or your Medela pump. And then lastly, I bought the Elvie Stride, and I will tell you what my thoughts are on these. So I want to quickly talk about the price. The Spectra you can get free from your insurance like I did, but if you bought it outright, it's between $130 and $170. The Medela is also a pump that you can get free from your insurance. There are newer models than this, so I didn't even look up the price of this because I think it's a little bit outdated in terms of like actually buying it. You would buy a newer style. The Bella Babies, for the set of 2, it was $120 on Amazon. For the Freemie cups, they run about $70. It comes with tubing to connect these to your Spectra or your Medela. And then the Elvie, which is like to me the Cadillac of pumps, these retail at about $250 to $270. And you can also get this one through your insurance, but I believe you still have to pay a small fee, somewhere like between $50 and $100 if you do get these through your insurance. I recommend looking on Facebook Marketplace because a lot of people will get them free through your insurance and then they don't end up using them and just sell them, and that's what happened in this case. I got these on Facebook Marketplace for $140. The woman I got them from had bought them and said she was done breastfeeding and had never used them and just thought someone else could use them, so I got them for a good deal. Alright, so the first one I ever used was the Spectra. What I really like about the Spectra is the consistency I get in pumping. Every time I pump with this, I know I'm pretty much always going to get, I'd say 2 to 3 mLs on the left and 3 to 4 on the right. It's tried and true, works the same every time. I like that you can see the placement of the breast in the actual flange so that you don't have to worry like if it's misplaced or anything like that, which you'll see really becomes an issue with some of these other pumps. The vacuum has a up and down button, so you have a very precise way to adjust the vacuum amount. So you'll see here you can just go up, so it goes from 1 to 5, and then when you're in the expression mode, it can go up to 10, but it's very precise. You can start at 1 and then go up as quickly or as slowly as you want. And I also love this little light that comes on the Spectra because when I first started pumping, I would always pump right after nursing my son in the middle of the night because I was trying to get my milk supply up, and that light allowed me to not have to turn on all the lights in the living room. I could just turn on that and see what I was doing here. The things I don't like about the Spectra is this like awkward shape. The nice thing is it has a little holder here for your milk if you want to set it in there if you need to be hands-free for a second while you're like maybe getting your other flange off and you don't want it to like get knocked over. If you're gonna take this out of your house like to work, it's kind of awkward. I've taken this in the car and I had to take this huge bag because it just doesn't really fit in anything else. It worked, and it wasn't the end of the world, but the shape is kind of awkward and not very easy to use. You can hook it up to the cigarette outlet thingy in your car and it will run off that, as well as the Medela. So since we're talking about more of the like insurance paid pumps, I'm going to talk about the Medela really quick because this is what I take to work. The reason I take this one to work as opposed to my Spectra is because I already have this nice bag for it and you can put your pump parts in here and stuff. The actual pump itself is only like this little section here, just this little square. But I like that I could just fold my wires up right into this little flap it down, plug in the cord, plug these into the flanges here, and then you're good to go. Both of these require that you use a pumping bra like this. You can see it has a space for the flange to go in here. Because of how the flange is shaped, you need a nursing bra, or a pumping bra, I mean. So anyway, the thing I don't like about this Medela is that it has a turn knob here to turn on the suction. It works fine, but I don't personally like to just go from 0 to 60 when it goes to pumping because I find it very uncomfortable. So unlike the Spectra that has a very precise way to turn up the vacuum setting, you have to just turn this little knob, and I feel like you can go from you know, like 0 to 3 really quickly, as opposed to this you can start at 1 or 2 and then move up as you need to. But I haven't had an issue with this. Like I said, I use this at work every day, which is when I pump the most. Just like the Spectra that has a button to go from expression mode to letdown mode, you have the same button option here. Really, it works. I'd say these are pretty comparable in terms of what you get out. They're both very consistent. I just would prefer the Spectra because of the mechanism of how it works. So the flange on the Spectra comes with the diaphragm, the part that kind of creates the suction on the actual flange mechanism itself. Whereas in the Medela, the diaphragm is inside of the little pump, and you don't have to have that on here. The reason I like that you don't have to have it on the Medela is because this comes apart into 3 sections, and then you have to wash this, and this is kind of a pain to get dry. It's just so many extra parts to deal with. So having it inside of the machine is nice because it's just less hassle. But the thing with the Medela flange is that for some reason they have it come apart right here. I don't know why. So then you have like 3 pieces here as opposed to just like the 1-piece flange on the Spectra, minus the diaphragm. So the downside about this kind of setup is that when you put this on, I have had this part like break off when I'm trying to get disconnected and fall on the floor, and then you spill a little bit of milk and it's kind of a mess. I've never had that happen with my Spectra. So just, you know, little nuances between the 2 different styles, but it's really not that big of a deal either way. Once you get used to using this, you'll kind of learn that you need to hold on to it here so that you don't, you know, lose this part from the actual breast shield. Okay, let's move on to the Bella Baby, because this is the next one that I got. The Bella Baby, it does suction some milk, but I would give it like a 1 or 2 out of 10. I read a lot of reviews on this before buying it, and a lot of people said it worked well. I personally hate this pump. I used it like twice and I never used it again. But I want to explain to you why I didn't like this so that you'll understand why I like these other 2 options so much more. So there's a silicone backing on the Bella Baby, like this, that goes over the back, that kind of holds in the milk. And then this is the pump mechanism on top, and this just slides up, and then you can charge this separately. And this is what the mechanism looks like when it is not connected to the actual pump. So you have this strange cup part here that protects the pump from the rest of the milk supplies. And then you have your little duckbill thing down here. It's very hard to get this in place here, which is one of the reasons I hate this pump, but you can get it in. It's not that big of a deal. But then this slides onto the back like that, and then you have to put this in. It's just really strange parts, and they're kind of like finicky. So anyway, after you get this on and you put this into your bra, okay, you can't see your nipple because there's this huge thing blocking it at the top. So that's the #1 reason why I hate this, because it makes it very hard to line up and see what you're doing, and you can't see if the milk is actually coming down, and it's kind of bulky, you know, like got quite a large profile. So that's the first reason. The second reason is I would get milk and it would for some reason not go through the duckbill, and then I would stop having any more milk made after like a few milliliters. So that really didn't work for me. And I had to turn it up on higher settings to see if that would work, and that just led to me having tears in my nipple. I bought a smaller shield because it comes with a 24mm. I got a 21mm. I didn't have any success with that either. So for the $120 that these cost me, I feel like I got nothing for them. I was really excited about them. I'm probably just gonna give these away and see if someone else can get some use out of them, because to me, these are pretty much just junk. Then I got the Freemie cups. My friend was nice enough to lend these to me. These are the 25mm. These worked fine for me. I used a 24 on the Spectra and the Medela, and that works fine. The problem with these, they pump, like you can get a lot of milk out of these. They're just as effective as either the Spectra or the Medela in getting milk out. The problem is when I got to about 2 or 3 mLs, not mLs, 2 or 3 ounces in each side, I would see that the milk would back up into the tubing of the Spectra, which was really disappointing to me because these were so nice. This was the first time I was able to pump in the car without, you know, because these are, you know, they're a lot. You know, you see all this when you're driving and they're kind of in your way. These you can slip into your shirt. You don't need a special bra. They're a little bit more inconspicuous and they worked really well. So I loved these. I fell in love and I was like, there's got to be something that works as well as these that's not going to cause me to have, you know, milk in my tubing, because then you have to rinse out the tubing and it can ruin your pump, and you know, it's a big deal. But these worked really well otherwise. So then when I found these Elvies online, the Elvie Stride, I was so excited. I wanted the other Elvie pump, but after having these, I don't think I would trade them for the other one, because I really like that it's all just like one pump. These are connected. I don't mind the wires. I actually think it's like easier to kind of keep everything together. So I love these. These are the Cadillac. They are the best, and for $140 when I spent 120 on these, it's like night and day difference. So I can get the same amount of milk that I get out from my Spectra or my Medela easily. And these are actually pretty easy to put together. I have had no issues with spilling milk or anything like I do sometimes with the Medela. These are what I'm using at work now because I feel comfortable enough with them that they're gonna work consistently and I'm not gonna have any issues. And unlike the Bella Baby, where you couldn't see what you were doing, Elvie solved that problem because they have this little flap here where you get the milk out. And you can actually see down in there, I'm gonna see if I can show you. You can see how to line it up, and it has a little arrow for you. So those lines in the arrow helps to line up your nipples so you know exactly where it needs to go. And then you can just put this, you know, back in place, and then you can pump. All right, so with the Elvie, these, if I could go back and just get one pump, I think I'd still get my Spectra just because it's like the tried and true, and I don't know, there's something about the Spectra I really like that even I would be a little nervous to just start off with the Elvie when you don't have any pumping experience, I guess. If I was an experienced pumper, I would go straight for the Elvie Strides. But let me show you how this works. So this actually you can disconnect from the pump itself, and it just plugs in there. The charger is up here at the top. You just plug that in. The on button is here. Stop and start like as a play, it's like a play and pause, pump and pause, and then you're up and down. This connects to an app, so you can actually control it from the app on your phone too. I was a little nervous about that, but it's really easy. It automatically connects to your phone as soon as you start pumping, so you don't have to like remember to hook it up or anything like that. Then the Elvies themselves, the actual cups themselves, connect with just a front piece here. You just pull them out like this, and then if you have it in your bra and you need to turn it because you want it to come out the top of your bra, or you need to turn it to go out the bottom, this is really easy to just turn. Been really nice. Okay, so let's disconnect these. And to put these in, all you have to do is they have little finger holes, and then you can just push them in, pull them out. It's been really easy. The parts of the Elvie, there's this like front piece, there's this diaphragm piece, there's the little duckbill piece at the bottom that's a lot easier to put in and out compared to my Bella Baby, and then the back main piece, shield that goes over the breast. Okay, so to put this together is really easy. You have this piece, you put in your duckbill, so that's in there. Take the diaphragm, kind of just gotta stretch it over that circle. This is what I can show you. It takes a second to work it over, but it's not that big of a deal. Then you take this piece that goes over the top. It's got a little alignment. See if you can see it. See, it's got like a little arrow and a dot. You just line those up, and then you just squeeze it down. And it doesn't always click, but you can tell it's like suctioned. And that's it. It's put together. And you pop that baby on and just slide it into your bra. I originally wanted these so bad for work because I thought maybe I could pump while I was actually working in the ER. After having them, I don't think that that's something that's realistic because I'm gonna put this in for you and I'm gonna show you how busty it makes me look, and you're gonna understand why I don't wanna look like Pamela Anderson running around at the ER. It's kind of big compared to like the normal. I don't feel like the camera does it justice, but it's large and strange, and yeah. And then the actual sound, I had watched videos of the sound and like how loud it is. If you worked in an office and you weren't up close with other people, you could probably pump, and if you have even a little bit of background noise, it would probably be fine. But me, I'm like up close and personal with patients and families and my coworkers, and you definitely know that I was pumping because there's definitely this like little, you know, the sound from the actual cups and then the sound from the pump itself. I can let you listen to it, but it doesn't really, it's just hard to hear it through a camera. So if we get it up max here. It's loud enough that if I took that into a patient's room, they would be asking what the noise is, I think. So anyway, yeah. Of my recommendations, Spectra 2 is my favorite. There's cases you can get for it to make it easier to take to work with you and stuff. The Elvie is the Cadillac, the Lamborghini, the top of the line breast pump for hands-free, for anything. I've been using them when I go to work. So like the Freemie cup I told you, I used that when I was in the car and pumping. The Elvie Stride has saved me so much time because I used to have to sit at home and pump before I left for work. Now I get in the car and I put these in, and it takes me 25 minutes to get to work. So I pump for that period of time, and I saved 25 minutes. I was having to get up earlier and sit at home in my living room and take care of that. So the Elvie's the #1. You probably already knew that, but now you know why, and the little intricacies of why it's the best and better than anything else. These parts are dishwasher safe. You can't go wrong with these. These are it. So I want to thank you for watching my video. I hope you are now more informed as to what breast pump will work best for you and what each one costs. And I want to remind you to just do good, and good things will come back to you, and I will see you in my next video.